This is the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 2. This is the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11, and it reads, "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." I want to start off by giving all praises, all honor, and all glory to God, Lord Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai B'Hashem, Kadosh Baruch Hu. I want to say double honor to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone, teach and do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and the Aqua thought they're listening and learning, Lord, willingly. This is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth to you. I say shalom. This is your brother Yahweh South out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant. And I'm coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit and through the power of Yahweh Shema Shai. And basically, I had an article, and it's again a sign of the times. You got individuals that can't deny the fact of what the MOTB is or the charagma is or could be, as opposed to just flat out denying or saying what it's not, because we living in times where, you're seeing the money fail, you're seeing that the system is switching over. They're talking about the banking systems are closing the brick and mortar stores and going on to online banking. So, you got situations where they have videos on YouTube where you're talking about individuals try to go into that bank and they talking about they don't have physical money. You got to go somewhere else to get your money that you gave them. And then you got stupid ass people that still keep their money in the bank. But saying all that to say this, everything's gonna go digital. Everything, because it's a fourth industrial revolution for a reason, where everything will be automated. That's the point of the article, and that's why I started with that 2 Corinthians, because we know, least Satan should get an advantage of us. The Lord doesn't make us ignorant. He, reveals to us, Satan's plans. When you go into devices, that's basically his plans. His plans. I don't feel like getting it out of the blue letter, but I'm pretty sure that word devices goes into his plans, his plan, his agenda, and we have the cheat code because we have the scriptures, scriptures. Basically everything was written before time for our learning. That's the scripture. But when you go into what's that? Isaiah chapter 46, we'll start at verse 9, point is verse 10, and it reads, this is Isaiah 46 and verse 9. "Remember the former things of old, for I am the Most High, and there is none else. I am the Most High, and there is none like me." There's only one power. The gods of the nations or the gods of the heathen are idols. I think that's Psalms 96. But it tells you in the scriptures, the Most High. There's no other power that show you that, but it tells you that the Most High God is the Father of spirits. So, he controls all the spirits, the left-hand angels as well as the right. They all basically do his will. That's why when you read Job, it says, Shantan presenting himself in front of the Most High as well. Because he's a servant to the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Verse 10, "Declaring the end from the beginning and from the ancient times, the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand and I will do all my pleasure." So it says declaring the end from the beginning. So these things were written before time for our learning, they're all in the volume of the book. And that's why we had a cheat code so we can prophesy, meaning say before it happens. Even the Lord said that. He said, "I declared the end from the beginning." So, that's why it tells you, where is that at Deuteronomy? So, I think it's Deuteronomy 18. It says, if that prophet, the word that the prophet says comes to pass, then the Lord has sent him. But if he comes, the word that he speaks and it does not come to pass, then that prophet spoke presumptuously, roughly paraphrased, and you shall not fear him. But if that word come to pass, that he was sent from the Lord. That's how you know a prophet. I remember I was talking to this female. She was talking about how she been around this, been around that. This is a young girl too. I've been around this, I've been around that. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I've been around prophets and fake prophets, and I explained to her, because I didn't even want to know what her definition of a prophet was. But that's how you know if a prophet was sent by the Lord. It's in the scripture. what he said is going to come to pass. And that's why before the Lord judges a nation, he sends his prophets out. And then that what's being said is going to take place comes to pass. And that's why when you see all the downfalls and the different captivities of Jacob, it was always a prophet out there trying to tell the people to come back to the Lord, to amend their ways, yada, yada, yada. So that being said, I'm going to get a little bit of this article. Says the U.S. military plans to unleash thousands of autonomous war robots over the next 2 years. Now, I'm kind of familiar with this because I had a book on DARPA, and I got another book too, when it was talking about this very same subject. I didn't even read the book, but basically that's how you know this is the fourth industrial revolution. This is that Skynet shit. I don't know if the Lord just really put that on that guy James Cameron's spirit. I don't know where he getting this information from, but a lot of the movies that he made, although Terminator wasn't his idea, he just directed it. That was based on that. I can't think of that Jake woman name right now at the moment, but she wrote a lot of, and I was going to say that making a joke about it, like basically going to, a prophet or a prophetess, because she's a prophetess. You know what I mean? I know she Jake. I know she said she was Gad. I don't know if she know about Yahweh Shem Yahushua. I know brother basically put out the information, because I never knew that it was a Jake that actually wrote the Terminator, wrote the Matrix. All those major movies was her idea. Those were her books. And Esau Edom, like he always does, he stole the idea. But not to digress, point is, like when you go into Skynet, remember they was building all these robots, and basically they let AI basically control. And that's why basically the AI is the ones that destroyed the world. They basically created, the nuclear Armageddon. And it's funny because now you got Elon Musk, and basically they talking about with the quantum computers. What do you think that all is? You seeing a taste of the quantum computers right now. That's why sometimes when you think something or you about to think something, it automatically just pop up in Google. Do you think that that's just spiritual? No, they using some other shit. You know what I'm saying? Which is all spiritual in itself. You know what I mean? It says U.S. military plans to unleash thousands of autonomous war robots over the next 2 years. And I'm gonna just add this before I go into the article. I remember when they was talking about Trump paying or getting Mexico, the Issachar Wright president, to pay for the wall that he was trying to build. Well, if you actually go into what the kind of wall they're trying to build, it's not a regular wall. The wall that they're trying to build would be an autonomous wall. It would have robotic machine gun turrets on it. Yeah. I came across that article back when he first ran. That's the kind of wall they want to put up. AI-powered wall, because we're in the fourth industrial revolution. It says U.S. military plans to unleash thousands of autonomous war robots over the next 2 years. The Conversation AU. The United States military plans to start using thousands of autonomous weapon systems in the next 2 years in a bid to counter China's growing power. U.S. Deputy Secretary of Defense Caitlin Hicks announced in a speech on Monday. Fuck she even. Let's lock it. But and that's how they trying to appease everybody by saying, to counter this and to do that, and but at the end of the day, so what's going to happen to your regular soldiers? What if they're going to create all this autonomous, individuals that don't really watch movies? Like, so you have certain brothers in the truth that don't watch movies, but I learned at a young age back in the world that movies had a spiritual connotation to them, just like music does. A lot of things have spiritual, if you can be a spiritual person. But yeah, I mean, like, if you really go into movies, you'll see that they've been talking about this one world order, for decades. Like, what do you think Star Trek was? With Gene Roddenberry, go look this guy up. He was a fucking Mason. And that's why it's all set up a Freemason. He was a third degree Mason. That's why you got, like, the Simpsons. They basically call themselves prophesying on the left-hand side. They show certain things within the movie or in the shows because they connected. And then when you watch, like, Simpsons is not a show you let your kids watch, but I grew up watching Simpsons with other people. Like, I knew bitches that let their children watch Simpsons. When Simpsons was more so, the first cartoons were not created for children. They were created for adults. It says the so-called Replicator initiative aims to work with defense and other tech companies to produce high volumes of affordable systems for all branches of the military. Military systems capable of various degrees of independent operation have become increasingly common over the past decade or so, but the scale and scope of the U.S. announcement makes clear the future of conflict has changed. The age of war-fighting robots is upon us. And I probably ain't even go into it. This is probably a good article, though. It says, robots everywhere. In her speech, Hicks talked of a perceived urgent need to change how wars are fought. She declared in somewhat impenetrable Pentagon speak that the new replicator program would. I'm going to check this out. Because basically, like, I forgot who was speaking on it. I know it was an elder brother, but they were saying how, like, we could fuck around and lock down, and when they come out, they literally just have all this automation, all these robotics. You know, that's what happened in China. They locked him down, got back out there. Now you got the robot dogs walking around. You got the eye in the sky, 1,000 cameras. And again, you got to remember, America basically, or that Klaus Schwab guy says that basically America's the perfect, China was the perfect model of what they want the world to look like. The robot mission for the U.S. military, Russia is an acute threat, but China is the pacing challenge against which to benchmark its military capabilities. China's People's Liberation Army is seen as having a significant advantage in terms of mass. It has more people, more tanks, more ships, more missiles, and so on. The U.S. may have better quality equipment, but China wins on quantity. But quickly building thousands of attributable autonomous systems, the replicator program will now give the U.S. the numbers considered necessary to win future major wars. And this is all speculation and bullshit and, Esau's pride, because at the end of the day, the scriptures tell you what's the demise of Esau. What's that, Isaiah chapter 14? The nation's going to say, is this the man? So, these nations going to basically all form, Voltron and shoot missiles on this bitch. And that's pretty much, I could have read the whole thing, but I'm not really looking to, like I said, I had saved the article because I wanted to go into it, but, I'm going to probably try to read the article either today or tomorrow, Lord will. But we also, again, at least Satan should get an advantage of us for we're not ignorant of the devices. If he's bringing all this automated technology in, then you're going to have a system where, why wouldn't it make sense if you got the robots doing everything, but they want to speed everything up? What use would you be? So, like I said, if it's going to be UBI, Universal Basic Income, and basically they're going to be taking care of you, everybody's got to get their government allotted merchandise for the week or month or whatever. Why wouldn't they have a system in place that's going to speed that up? Where I don't have to, take your information, look you up in the computer. No, you just going to scan your shit. Boom. They're going to scan that device. So it makes perfect sense to those that got the eye to see, that spiritual eye salve. And this is the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 55 to ultimately test, his elect, because the elect, you're going to know the elect because they're going to refuse to take, this man's device. This is Isaiah chapter 55, verse 11. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. And at the end of the day, it's the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushua for the whole world to be given or presented with that hour of temptation. I won't get that by the fact. Revelation chapter 3 and verse 10. This is Revelation 3 and 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation. That hour of temptation is when every individual will be put in a position where they would have to decide to either take that MOTB or that charagma, or to refuse it onto whatever, consequences they, some men are going to be beheaded, some women going to be beheaded, for the sake of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, Yahweh Shah Mashiach. Salakia. It says, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, because it won't be your spirit that's going to sustain you from it. It's going to be the spirit of the Lord that he's going to put on you to keep you from that, from basically accepting that, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. And again, that's the indicator of who is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua's chosen. This is Amos chapter 3 and verse 7. And again, I was going into the cheat code because it tells you in verse 7, surely the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahshua will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets, or he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. So the prophets basically had that more intimate relationship with Yahweh Bashim Yahshua. You know, when you read like the books of like Hosea, you know, the book of Isaiah, you know, Isaiah was made to lay naked. You know, Ezekiel was made to lay on the ground. Had to watch his wife die and not mourn. You know, basically put them through. They basically got an in-depth look at the mind and the feelings of Yahweh Bashim Yahshua. You know, Hosea basically had to wear a whore because he got to understand how Most High felt with it. You know, that woman basically was cheating on him, leaving, fucking around on him, and selling the box to Kobah, and then he had to keep her. He had to take her back. You know, I remember, I think it was the elder said that I know the one child was his, but it wasn't for sure the other child was his. I think he had 3 kids with her. Matter of fact, he had 2 boys and a girl. Right. So, you know, you know, again, the prophets had a more intimate relationship with Yahweh Bashim Yahshua. And then you got people talking about the God that they understand, and that, you know what I mean? People sit up there talking about, oh, this close, deep relationship they got with the Most High God, but don't even know his name. You know, I've been noticing lately too. Like, I was telling brothers how the spirit's been turning up, but I've been getting fucked with for like 3-4 days. You know what I mean? And I need to really, you know, I don't know why Satan been trying to get me to react carnally. Normally, you know, in the past I have, but now I'm trying to, you know, because I was just listening to I forgot what brother was saying how you supposed to be growing in this thing. I know the elder said that, you know, you should be in that mindset. You know, you're not the same nigga that you was when you woke up to the truth. You're not the same individual when you first came into the truth. You're not the same individual that you was yesterday, because you in his truth, and every day you're supposed to be trying to grow. So, and verse 14, and I'm gonna start at verse 13, Revelation 13 and 13. And he deceiveth great, Salaki, and he doeth great wonders. Who is he? Esau Edom, the so-called white man, the red Hebrew Edomite. These great wonders is technology. This man is about to build tanks, which they got tanks that's automated. They're gonna have planes, which, you know, they already got drones that individuals fly, but eventually it's about to go to drones that are unmanned. And these are the things that I know of personally. Because again, I had a book on this like a couple years ago and I never read it. But that's the future of military warfare. And they showed all that in them Terminators. Like I said, again, that's why literally you had certain Terminators that was built like tanks and shit like that. So like literally like future, the truth is stranger than fiction, you know what I'm saying? It says, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on earth in the sight of man, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles. You know, for one, make me think of that sea hip. You know, yeah, people thinking that literally was a miracle. They was gonna save your life, and he deceived people. Then the funny part is this: you got people talking about their freedom and how they free, but they talking about that boy Biden. You know, Creepy Joe literally or Brandon, you know, fuck you, Brandon, you know, he literally talking about creating another C hip, or not C hips, like it, another jump shot or another V by September that everybody got to take. So how the fuck you got freedom? And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, meaning the ways of this place, you know, the philosophies of this place. That's the image. You know, this whole not mediocre, which it is mediocre, but just this whole pathetic, you know. I was at the gas station today. It was a lot of spirits roused up in there, and I was listening to this Jake. He was an old school Jake, and he basically was offended. I watched him go pay for his shit, and he bought all the other things, and he was only able to put $5 in his tank, and he had a truck. You know what I mean? Like, man. You got people getting fed up with this shit. What I mean? And I can see what Esau's doing. Like literally, I see why he wants this. He wants you. Well, it's ultimately Yahweh Shem Yahshua wants this, but like people going that next like lockdown when they try to get people to comply. People is not going to comply like that. It's going to be, turmoil. It's going to be uproars. It's going to be this. It's going to be sedition. Not maybe from everybody because you still got the program weak ass individuals, but for the most part, you got individuals that won't even do this. Go on the highways and hedges. And yes, it's dangerous, but you got people that listen and watch the videos and say they believe, but you'll show your belief by actually your works. I forgot who said that. I want to say it was Paul or some. I think it was Paul. But you're gonna show your belief by your works, because if you believe, you do. I mean, like saying, we not telling you to pick up no arms and that. We just going out there telling you to, speak this message to your people and to, go on the highways and hedges, because we got something for everybody. We got something for our people. We got something for the heathen. You know what I mean? So it's something for you to do. But then when people start bucking up, you're gonna have individuals afraid and terrified, and we don't condone that. At the end of the day. The Lord is going to be the one that's going to rouse up the spirits of individuals to do it. But no, you could already tell people going to be like highly upset. Like how that dude was about his pension one there. But wait till they start moving and going with action. You know what I mean? That's why right now is the time to seek the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahshua. It says, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live. And, that beast that was wounded was ancient Rome, and, it's living again because America is based off of the ancient Roman system. It's set up just like ancient Rome. That's why, if you went to school, you had to do Roman numerals, and, the law system is based on Latin, and, it's so much of Rome incorporated in this place. This is ancient Rome all over again, 2.0. Verse 15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. The point, verse 16, and he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their forehead. Salaki, free and bond to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark. When you go into that word mark, it's charagma, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So without that device, you're not going to be able to buy or sell, And, when you look at certain movies like Demolition Man, you had individuals that basically lived off the grid. They lived in the sewers. So those was those that refused to mark. And they was looked at as what? Like they was looked at like dirty, nasty. That was your elect. Those were those that refused to mark. I think Dennis Leary played in that. If I'm not mistaken, I think I don't want to say that man did, but Dennis Leary, he wasn't very funny to me, but Dennis Leary was a comedian, an actor. But he played, I remember he played as the leader of those that basically chose to not take the mark. I even, as many times I've seen Demolition Man in the past, I hadn't seen it again until Brother started posting clips. But you see in that movie, he had the charagma. So it'll be, again, reality or reality is stranger than fiction. So yeah, that thing coming. So if you're so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the laws, to the statutes, and to the commandments of your power, whose true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, or you will be destroyed. With that, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to call Loyam, like Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Ba'ashem. Let's say double honors to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone who teach and do rule well. Let's say peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Aqua. Shalom to the Akim and the Aqua out there listening and learning. Lord, willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land that other nations appearing like those nations. Subscribing to this truth. To you, I say shalom. Till next time I'm able to come with another lesson. I say shalom, shalom. I say, shalom.